Hey, hope you're all doing well. We are live. It is my name is Seth Mulder. It's a beautiful summer Saturday evening here in small town USA. Zip code 84653. Just picked up my mail at the post office late on a Saturday night, getting some errands done. And something's been on my mind for the last few days that I had to talk about and do a broadcast. So first of all, it's time for summer. It's good to see you guys joining. Thanks for tuning in. Summer's a time for. Hey, Marnie. Hey, Doug. Good to see you, man. Been a long time. Rika, domo konnichiwa, ohayou gozaimasu. We got friends from Japan coming in. Maybe have some from Thailand coming in here too. Jeff, good to see you. So, guys, it's summer, right? Summer's a time for ice cream cones, slushies. State fair. We just were at the county fair last couple of days, and concerts. Right? I love country music. If you're a country music fan, we've been talking about this on my broadcasts lately. Put a 1 in the comments. If country music is torture, put a 3. I'm not even going to give you middle ground today. It's either a 1 or a 3. But my wife and I were at a fabulous concert recently. And it was so loud I can't even think of it right now. It was Gary Allan here. He came to our hometown and had a fabulous time. And I want to tell you a little story about that. But that was a great concert that I was just at. If you've been to a great concert in the last couple of years, or what's the best concert you've ever been, type it in the comment section. Okay. Next thought is yes, and Rika is actually is coming in from Osaka, Japan right now. So we want to give her a big ohayou gozaimasu from America. So what's the concert that you would go to if you could? I asked my wife that question recently. Honey, what would be some of the concerts you'd absolutely totally want to go to? And this was on her birthday a few days ago. And hey Donna, hey Liv. So she started naming off artists, trying to think who was on there. But I know that Tim McGraw and Faith Hill were on there. She mentioned that a few weeks ago, and I was prompting her because I actually got her Soul to Soul Tim McGraw Faith Hill tickets for her birthday, right? So I was just kind of having a little fun with this, and I gave those to her later that night. She didn't know when I asked her the question, but I'm interested in you. What concert would you love to go to? Okay, type that in the comments section. Matt, Peter Frampton. All right, awesome. So I asked you to type 2 comments. Number 1. What's one of the favorite concerts? What's a favorite concert that you went to? And number 2, what's a concert that you absolutely want to go to? And here's why I asked those 2 questions today. Number 1, remembering what you've done and being grateful for it. That's a principle of success. And number 2, what's something you're looking forward to? That's a principle of success as well. So let me, Jason, dude, hope you're having a great time. Are you down in Houston right now? Glad to have you guys on. So let me get to the meat of tonight's broadcast really quickly. And it has to do with this whole concert thing. So we were at the Gary Allan concert here in Spanish Fork, Utah, at the county fairgrounds. It was an absolute blast. My wife and I went up and danced kind of on the top row. And then we went down into the dirt pit, right? This is the rodeo grounds. Nothing like dancing with your wife or your loved one, kicking up dust, doing a little country swing out there. It was awesome. But the girl who opened for Gary Allan, okay, had an interesting story, and I wanted to share that with you. So she's singing in the opening this past Wednesday, and at first I didn't recognize her, but then as I was listening to her music, forgive me, I've got an urgent text coming in. But as I'm listening to this, I'm thinking, you know what? I think I know this girl. And then it hit me and my wife. We actually saw this girl perform live last year at the Grand Ole Opry. Okay, when we went to listen to Josh Turner and Aaron Tippin and somebody else, it just slipped my mind. But and then got to go backstage. Awesome night. But this girl opened for them as well. And her name's Lauren Alaina. Okay, she's a relatively new country artist. If you're into country music, you might know her. If you listen to American Idol, you might know her. She was the runner-up in 2010. She actually sang with Carrie Underwood, placed second, okay? And then, you know, that kind of launched her career. She was 15 years old, okay? And she was sharing with us on stage, kind of between her music and her, you know, between her songs. By the way, she wrote all these new songs on her newest album. And so we're listening to her, and she tells us this story. She says, you know, in 2010, I was runner-up in American Idol, and since that time, I released 5 singles, okay? Because, you know, in the music business, you got to make money. You know, who has a great song recently? It's Charles Kelly, from one of the lead singers from Lady Antebellum. For the last year, Lady Antebellum kind of, I don't want to say disbanded, but sorry, I'm getting a call, so it's messing us up here. Charles Kelly went solo and put out an awesome album. And in that album, he's talking about, you know, you got to have singles to make money, right? So here's what Lauren Alaina did. She had some good music, right? You know, she came out in her first year. She's 16 years old, roughly, right? Put out 5 singles, and according to her words, they just didn't go where she wanted them to go. They didn't top the charts, and you know, people, you know, she put them out there. She put them out on radio, put them out in the country music arena, and then, you know, her agents or the people she's working with would come back to her and say, well, you know, maybe, you know, this one didn't work. Maybe let's try again. It was just, in a way, it was kind of rejection after rejection after rejection, or failure. You know, you put your heart and soul into music and you put it out there and the public doesn't want it, you know, that you could take that personally. But let me just share with you some of the ideas, some of the concepts she shared with us. Number one, she had big dreams from the time she was 3 to perform. In fact, she has been performing, singing since she was 3 years old. And so when she started doing this music thing at 15, 16, you know, she had some challenges. She had some challenges with some personal issues, an eating disorder that she had to get over. And she's putting out all this music, 5 singles, and they go nowhere over a course of about 6 years, guys. And she said, you know, I missed my family's birthday parties. I missed sleeping in my own bed. I missed a lot of stuff, but it was my dream, you know, and I was willing to go after it. But I started to question myself. You start to say, I wonder if I'm doing the right thing. And as I'm listening to this, literally, you know, I'm just taking notes because I'm thinking, this is a fabulous story. And she said, but I decided this was something I really wanted. It was a dream of mine, and I was going to go for it. I was going to keep going for it. I was going to stop, you know, I wasn't going to continue to question, am I in the right place? I'm just going to go do what I love, or I'm going to go fight for what I love, okay? And I know a lot of you who are entrepreneurs are fighting for what you love. And I know a lot of you are in that Lauren Alaina stage in the first 5 singles, where maybe you're not getting where you want. You know, maybe you've been working for 5 years or 6 years and you didn't get what you want, or they just haven't, you know, the work that you've done hasn't been received as you'd like it to be, as you would have liked it to have been received. She kept on singing. She kept on touring. You know, she was with Luke Bryan this year. She's, you know, she came out for this concert with Gary Allan. She was with some other big headline artist. I can't remember. You know, she's doing the opening work. She's just grinding it out, guys. She puts out a new album. I think, if I remember correctly, she wrote every song on the album, you know, put them down in the tracks. And Marnie, you remember her? Okay, great. Jerem, good to see you. Paige, hey Jen. And her song this year went to number 1 in the country charts. I don't know if you've heard this song, but it's called "The Road Less Traveled," and she sang it for us. And so what I wanted to do, I wanted to dedicate this broadcast to you, because if you're up on a Saturday night listening to me, man, maybe you need counseling, right? But I'm here doing this today because I'm willing to take the road less traveled, because I know the road less traveled is going to get me to where I want to go. If you have big dreams, watch what everybody else is doing, watch what the masses are doing, and do the exact opposite, okay? So let me tell you a little about the road less traveled, what it might look like if you're looking into getting into entrepreneurship, if you're looking to start your own home business, if you're maybe looking into network marketing or whatever, right? Whatever your dream is. For me, my network marketing business is a vehicle to get the other things that I want in my life. But it might look like this. It might mean that you cut out on a little TV, and or a lot of TV. As I talked to a cousin of mine, recently, who said, you know what, when I started doing this personal development thing, I started having to give up TV, and I started reading books and doing all this personal development stuff because that's where I wanted to go. I remember being in corporate America, not being an entrepreneur yet, and walking into meetings literally like this with my face in a book. And I remember one of my managers saying, man, Seth, you're really committed to whatever you're doing, right? I was putting everything into my job. I was putting 100% in there. But when there was a free second, if I was walking from my desk to a meeting, my face was in Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, right? My face was in, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, or the Cash Flow Quadrant. That's one reason I'm writing my book called Be Free, about economic freedom right now, is because I want to share that with people. That's the road less traveled, is to be doing that personal growth. The road less traveled is being willing to invest in your personal growth and take courses, listening to Earl Nightingale's audio cassettes. I think there were 8 cassettes on leading the pack. I remember that when I was starting the road less traveled. It means getting with your friends, going to lunch, paying for their lunch, and picking their brain about what they're doing in business, or mentors and how they've been successful, if you're lucky enough to take a mentor to lunch, right? I've had mentors that I've paid $200 an hour to have phone time with them, right? So the road less traveled after you start a business looks like this. It's 9 o'clock. Well, what time is it right now? 9:42 on a Saturday evening. The reason I'm out tonight is because I had scheduled an appointment with a young entrepreneur tonight at 9 o'clock, okay? I was willing to make that sacrifice because right now I'm working on building a $60 million personal dream that's going to affect, I don't know how, 500,000 people. So because I have that dream, I'm willing to take the road less traveled. I'm willing to go out on a Saturday night. By the way, I don't want to say I got stood up, but the schedules didn't work out. The young entrepreneur I was going to work with couldn't meet, and so we had to reschedule. So here I am sitting here at 9:30 on a Saturday night, right? That's the road less traveled. When you want to grow your net worth, you don't want to just worry about what you make per year, but you want to grow that pile so you can get into the investing and get a money machine, an economic engine that can work for you. You start taking time, the road less traveled, to track your net worth, right? I've done that for hours and hours and hours and hours, tracking what I spend, tracking my investments. By the way, if you want a net worth tracking sheet, private message me or email me, sethmulder@gmail.com. Text me if you've got my number. I'd be happy to send you what I use, or a generic version of a net worth tracking sheet where every single month I can go through every one of my my savings accounts, my bank accounts, my investments, whether that's real estate or hard assets or whatever that is, right? Cash flow, network marketing businesses, all of that, and compare it to my liabilities, the money that I owe, right? And as I've done that in the past, and I've been able to grow my net worth and reach my goals, that's the road less traveled. The road less traveled is calling up people and saying, listen, I have a vision. I want to go do something amazing. I thought of you because I respect you, because I've always wanted to work with you, and because you have skills that I don't. You have strengths and talents that I don't, and I need that on this team. Will you look at what I'm doing? That's the road less traveled. So I wanted to share that with you today. If you want to be successful, and I know many of you who are tuning into this, either live or recorded, you want something more. Maybe you're here right now, and this represents what you have. And like I said at the beginning, be grateful for that concert that you went to. Be grateful for everything that God has given you. But that doesn't mean that you need to be satisfied with that, right? One of my personal goals in life is to fulfill my personal potential. And I know that what I'm doing right now in my, my marriage, in my personal life, my family, right, in my business career, the business projects that I'm working on, they're helping me go from here, where I am right now. Boy, I'm getting call after call after call. That's a good thing, right? They're helping me go from right here, right now, up to here. And the only path from here, where I am, to what I want is the road less traveled. So God bless you. May you consider what that road less traveled is. May you consider, I'm going to give you $1 million piece of advice, just what the next step. You don't have to take the whole journey today, but take the next step. For you, maybe it's writing down your goals. Right? I met with a dear friend today. We spent today, Road Less Traveled. What did I do on a Saturday morning? I spent 4 hours this morning being mentored and taught by a man who's built a $6 million a year cash flow business. Okay? And I went there and I took notes, over a page of notes. That's the Road Less Traveled, because I want to be continually learning so that I can improve my skills. So, guys, thanks so much. Again, if you love country music, type a 1. If it's torture, type a 3. I'll still be your friend, but we just might be a little more distant friends. What's the best concert you've been to, and what's a concert you want to go to? And if you want that net worth tracking sheet, just private message me or reach out to me, however. God bless you. Hope you have a great Sunday. My wife and I are looking forward to our marriage and relationships broadcast tomorrow. Thanks. Make it a great night.